And if you want, I don't want to confuse you, but if you want, I could ask Sackhorn at the office to make a photocopy of this list for you. But you see, we have many irregular verbs in English. I just wanted to show you that. Now, let's look just at recently and lately. These are adverbs. Recently and lately are adverbs. We know that adverbs modify verbs, and we use recently and lately when we are in the present perfect tense to talk about something that happened in the very recent past. In the very recent past.
Recently, same, coming soon.
Recently.
Same, coming soon.
Same as what?
Coming soon.
Coming to? No. It's different. It's different. Recently, lately, and recently and lately, they mean really the same thing. Recently and lately mean the same thing. But here's some examples. Have you seen any good movies lately? Notice, if I said, have you ever seen any good movies? Well, the answer would probably be yes, because certainly you have been to the movies before and you've seen at some point in your lifetime a good movie. But when I say, have you seen any good movies lately, I'm talking about in the very recent past, like within the last week or month or so. So in my case, if you were to ask me, have you ever seen any good movies? I would say yes, 20 years ago I saw a good movie, and 10 years ago I saw a good movie, and so on. But if you ask me, have I seen any good movies lately? I would say, not really. Most of the movies I've seen lately are not so good. So we're modifying have you seen. See, lately is modifying seen, and we're talking about the very recent past. Yes?
How long to use lately or recently? How long?
What kind of distance? It's undefined. It's undefined. There's no precise length of time. But it kind of depends on the context, what we're talking about. So if I were talking about seeing movies, probably within the last couple of months. But if I were to say, have you eaten lately? Maybe just the last hour or so. So the context will tell you how long that time should be. It just means very, very recently. I'm sorry, just within, a very short period of time. Has she? Pardon me?
Don't limit the time and period. Don't limit the time and period.
Yeah, no, it's undefined. There's no definite period of time that tells us when to use lately or recently. We're just conveying to whomever we're speaking with that it's been not long ago, but it's undefined how long. Yeah.
So which one is longer time?
Well, they're both recent. They're both. When I say, have you seen any movies lately? Because I'm talking about movies, that could be within the last couple of months. But because here, where I say, has she eaten recently?
I think it depends on your topic, your talking what about the
Yeah, it depends upon what you're talking about. Because see, we eat several times a day. So if I ask you if you have eaten recently, that would mean have you eaten within the last couple of hours?
If you eat recently, eating not mean last month or last week.
No.
Between listen, communicate.
If we're referring to eating,
Yes.
it would mean within the last couple of hours.
Maybe in the morning, maybe in the night.
But if we're talking about having seen good movies, it could be within maybe the last couple of months.
Next month, maybe.
The subject of the conversation will help us understand how long that period of time is. Here's some more verbs, irregular verbs that use the present perfect tense. We say begin. Begin is the verb. Begin means to start something. Okay? Present perfect would be has or have begun. So, Chop has begun studying English. Tessa has begun studying English. Bring, the past perfect form is brought. 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 Cat, Nat brought me cookies. If I wanted to use present perfect, say, Cat has brought me cookies. It happened in the past. It actually happened in the very recent past. Buy is bought, get is gotten, make is made, pay is paid. Okay? Now, I'm going to practice this a little
I
bit.
said that not had given you a cookie recently.
Say that again.
Not had given you one pack of cookie recently.
I'm not sure I understand.
You don't understand. For
Yeah.
example, not if you gave you a pack of cookies.
Correct.
But I want to say recently. I said that not had given you a pack of cookies recently.
Okay.
Like this. Okay.
That would be right. I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's. Now, here's some two new words. Also adverbs. Already and yet. And they mean almost the same thing. But the way we use them, the meaning could change the meaning slightly. So we use already and yet in the present perfect tense to talk about something that happened in the very recent past. So I would ask you, have you made progress learning English yet? See, yet is the adverb, and made, have made, is the verb. So yet is the adverb that modifies the verb made. And what this means, by adding this adverb yet, it means you may not think you've made progress. But when I ask you the question and I add yet, what I am thinking, what I am saying is that you may not think you've made progress, but I know that you will in the future be making progress. Have you made progress learning English yet?
Can you already? Have you made progress learning English already?
Yes, we could also say already.
Oh.
If I said already, the very slight difference in meaning, very, very slight. If I said, have you made progress learning English yet? I'm asking you whether you think you've made progress. But by adding yet, I am conveying to you my confidence that you will, in the future, have made progress. If I were to say, have you made progress learning English already? It's sort of the same thing, but I'm asking you to tell me It's more of a direct question. I'm just asking you to tell me if you've made progress so far.
Teacher, how is different? Meaning, when you want to use yet and already, but sometimes you say no yet and no already. Is it different?
Yeah, I'll show you. I'll show you how to say the opposite. If you wanted to say, I have not made any progress learning English yet, would be a way of saying that. I'll show you some examples.
Have you made progress learning English? Do you understand if I say like this? No yet. Is it necessary to yes to use? Is it necessary to using already and yet in the past perfect? Is it necessary?
If I think I understand your question, you can use already and yet interchangeably. One or the other will work. One or the other will work. Let me show you some examples. We're going to practice some examples, and I think this will clear it up. We can use already and yet in direct statements. Have you been to the Grand Palace? You would ask me that question. You would say, have you been to the Grand Palace? I would say, I have not been yet. Now, when I